guys. This is the first episode of the Fear Show. This is a basketball podcast, and we're going to be just talking about the games that have happened recently. Starting off with the first one that I think happened yesterday, as of the day I was recording this, because this game showed off a lot. Is the Mavs versus the Bucks game, which was a huge game, and it showed a lot off from Luka Doncic, which had I believe 33 points, like 19 assists, and that was just insane, especially with that last assist, truly showing off his court vision, which is actually a crazy good game, and it went into overtime. It was a fun one to watch, and yeah, what's called it, this is a rival. This is the next generation rivalry. Is what I'm trying to say. It's gonna define the future, and it's gonna be crazy because these are probably the top two. These are probably the top two players, young players in the league right now. Um, Jason Tatum's another good one, but I just think these two are superb. Yeah, because Giannis had 34 points and 13 rebounds. Luka had 36 points, 14 rebounds, and 19 assists. He absolutely went off, and man, it was such a great game. Um, like I said, this is going to be something to watch for generations for sure. This is from House. This is a picture from House Highlights that they put together. Um, that this is going to be something that we're going to be seeing for a while. This is the next generation of players. This is the future of LeBron. Giannis is something that we've never seen before, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be a great rivalry that we'll see in this next generation of players. And okay, now we're going to get to the game that excited me the most, which was the Jazz versus the Nuggets. The game, in my opinion, of the week. The best game in the bubble so far. Best game. You have Donovan Mitchell, who's absolutely going off in that fourth quarter because they were down, I believe, 18 points was the Nuggets' biggest lead. Or no, the Jazz had the lead at first. Then the Nuggets came back, and it was absolutely insane because then Donovan Mitchell pops off in the fourth quarter to bring them back into the game to tie it up into overtime. Then we go into overtime, and the Nuggets once again pull out a little bit of a lead, maybe 4 points. And then there we go again. Donovan Mitchell comes down the stretch and proves that he is elite, and comes off with some of the craziest 3-point plays I've seen. Period. And it was a great performance. Then we come down to the second overtime, and not Michael Porter Jr. Sorry, Jamal Murray is absolutely showing off and showing out, even though he's absolutely gassed. Like he's like dying. You can literally see him like panting, like anything. Like he's just exhausted out there, and you can see it. It shows. But he still went off and popped off and got them the win. Still the win. Absolute insane game. It it was just something spectacular to watch. If you guys didn't watch that game, watch the highlights from it. It was absolutely crazy. Jokic did well. What's called because he was struggling in the beginning. He was definitely struggling in the beginning with um, Rudy Gobert because Rudy Gobert is, in my opinion, more athletic than Jokic. But Jokic, I'm not saying he's a better player, but he has more athleticism, and that's what was controlling Jokic. But Jokic, he really seemed to break free of that in in the second quarter, and it was just an overall great game. And what's it called the Utah Jazz, what Donovan Mitchell had 35 points, 6 rebounds, a steal, and a block, and he was just 8 assists too, which was just absolutely insane. He did have 5 turnovers, which wasn't the greatest stat of the night, but in that last sequence, he truly showed he's an elite shooting guard. In my opinion, probably top three right now. Devin Booker is, I don't even know about that because there's so many great ones, and so it was just a great basketball game overall, in my opinion. Sorry, I was just looking at something I was reading up on the Jazz, I think, or something like that. And Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell have really seemed to patch that rough patch they had. They really seem to clear that up. What I like to see, because that I wanted to see them succeed. But Michael Porter Jr. is the next topic we have here. We'll go back to, sorry, that was another picture. But we're gonna get to that in a second. We'll go back to the Jazz, but I want to talk about Michael Porter Jr. for a second. This kid is going to be a young star in this league. He already is a young. He's gonna be fantastic. He has the natural athleticism. He's 6'10", and this is his rookie season technically, because he sat out with injuries last year, I believe, and he is just an absolute monster. 23 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 assists. The assist wasn't great, but everything else was phenomenal. Um, he's good. He's athletic. He's just a little bit. He just needs to warm up to the NBA, and I think he'll fit in as a star. People are calling him the next Kevin Durant. I don't know if he could go that far, this close, or like this early on in his career, but because of injuries, and we're gonna see how he develops. But as of right now, he's looking like he's on that track. And okay, like this, and we're gonna go back to the Jazz subject. Um, because this game was absolutely phenomenal. But it's about the Jazz, not so much the Nuggets, and that's because I want to say something which I don't, which I believe to be true. I believe that this team with Donovan Mitchell won't succeed at any time in the future. I don't think the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert will work. I just don't think they have enough power with what they have. I think they're gonna have to get another superstar in there to win a championship. They just don't have enough firepower. If they got a great supporting cast. Mike Conley was good, but I just don't think he's older. He's not as great as he used to be. I'm not saying he's not good, but I just don't believe they can win a championship, especially with the West. The West isn't as strong as it was a few years ago with the Warriors, the Rockets, and all them, but it's still extremely strong because it's really right now it's a two team race. I'm not saying that it's not stronger than the East because it obviously is, and it's obviously still a really strong conference. But I really don't know. I just don't think they have enough firepower with what they have now. And even if they develop Donovan Mitchell later on into the future, we'll have enough to win a championship. And that's just my take on it. But yeah, that this is a short video or short podcast or whatever you want to call it. It's short, and I know that. But what's called this is just our first one, and we're just gonna see how it goes. This is episode 1. A few great games. I want to talk a little more about Luka, but we'll do that for a future video because Luka is phenomenal and is going to be a great player in this league. So thank you. Or yeah, this is me signing out.